Attempt to figure out who was in this Pimp C tape. All I can perceive you, there was a popular R&B chick. It was a person that was getting cash at the time from Macintosh mill operator in Pimp C. Pimp C was found in the inn in pram position with a lot of blood around the bed candles, etc. Right, that he was at that point dead for like a day or so, right? Additionally recall that he was in supplicating position. This is the way they mock God, this is the way they mock our God. He should have been tried for arsenic or an unpoisoning. You understand what I'm talking about? He wasn't tried for that in a coroner. Let us know you understand what I'm talking about. He drained out when he passed on, so from each opening on his body, so that is from nose, mouth, ears, eyes. You understand what I'm talking about? In each opening on your body that you could height. That is not normal. It's an obvious fact that media outlets, while loaded up with a ton of beneficial things, can likewise be viewed as a celebration of a portion of the most exceedingly terrible discussions. And in the present episode, the debate being referred to is attached to Pimp C and Jay-Z. As per reports, it appears Pimp C could have moved past his head after cases of him having a sex tape would be and express began to stand out as truly newsworthy in light of the fact that Jay could have done without that, definitely, and dissimilar to a standard individual. That goes up against his concern. Jay, a previous gangster, just put a hit out on Pimp C. Didn't see that approaching up. Well, support yourself, since that is just where it begins in this discussion. The late Pimp C was the American rapper and music maker whose unexpected and puzzling demise worked up significant media consideration. He was found departed in a lodging in December 2007, abandoning various unanswered inquiries concerning the genuine reason for his passing. His troublesome destruction likewise started a few paranoid fears by and by. As per clinical records, his father was ascribed to a medication glut. A coroner's report distinguished difficulties brought about by his weighty utilization of purple drank and his prior rest apnea condition as the purposes for his demise. Thusly, it was uncovered that his blood test exhibited poisonous degrees of codeine in his framework. Too short, an individual rapper and a dear companion of Pimp C, who was evidently the last individual to have contact with him before his passing, offered a few fascinating comments about his demise. Right, and afterward they emerge with the authority it was a combination of a few stuff, the solution, and something different, or something that I don't. For those new, codeine is a narcotics or analgesics that push down the focal sensory system, decline the respiratory rate, and cause end of breathing when taken in harmful dosages. In less difficult terms, as per clinical records, Kim C was a medication fiend who ingested too much torment prescription, making him black out and eventually die. The things recovered from the area of his passing, which included pill bottles, powder, and liquor reuse, is proof to help the ensuing reports. Anyway, there is a sensible chance that these things were planted and Pimp C was outlined to make it seem as though his demise was a mishap. None of his partners or collaborators have affirmed his liquor enslavement or illicit drug use. Furthermore, he has never shown wrongdoing or intoxicated conduct in the media. His partner Orlando Brown remarked on this matter, expressing that side, he never inclined around me. Listen, visit, just did what? Red wine, a cup of red wine like 2 times, actually, no doubt. So entire these proclamations plainly proposed that the proof was false and potentially altered to divert authorities' consideration from the endeavored murder. Numerous people accept that Pimp C's alleged unintentional passing was too consistent to be in any way valid. David Pennant, an individual rapper who was evidently all around familiar with Pimp C, had expressed that the music business knew about specific issues concerning Pimp C, however would not address them freely. He said the one truth regarding the music business is that Pimp C had some stuff that everyone knew, except no one was discussing the stuff he alluded to will be uncovered later. In the video, the public viewed Pimp C's demise as a homicide. One individual remarked Pimp had a ton of stowed away foes and they needed him gone. I miss Pimp SMH. In regards to foes, we recently referenced Jay-Z as being at the first spot on the list. What conceivable question might have brought about one of the two being killed? Well, it is nevertheless, it's a genuinely well-known rapper and is a genuinely renowned R&B chick. Okay, definitely Pimp had an exposed, he had a recording of them. Pimp and Ken, one more vital figure from the music business, talks and enigmas in the video, uncovering stunning insights regarding Pimp C's contention with Jay-Z, incorporating Pimp C's energetic contribution with Beyonce while she was as yet hitched to Jay-Z. Also, the strain between the two men originates from Pimp C having a confidential video of himself and Beyonce participated in private exercises to explain. We are discussing a sex tape. Ken proceeded to say that Pimp C might have raked in boatloads of cash had he been sufficiently egotistical to deliver the tape, a tape that might actually overturn the vocations of a portion of the top rappers and music specialists in America today. While it might not have impacted Jay-Z as much, it makes for a fascinating show that we revere. What's more, Jay-Z and Pimp C had a prior disagreement regarding proficient variations. In 1999, the two men had wanted to team up on a melodic venture that Pimp C was not excited about. Too short made sense of that. Tupac was the explanation. They nearly couldn't come to an arrangement. Turns out just rationale for not having any desire to be on that tune was about Tupac. He said I'm not, ____, With no one, he proceeded to add that he compelled Pimp C into agreeing by saying, "Do what needs to be done, man, do it, do it, do it." Individuals turned out in enthusiasm for Pimp position. When Too Short's interview hit the fan, one of them said, "Hearing every one of the narratives regarding Pimp C obstinacy and wavering towards huge pimpin' makes me love him significantly. Something else, for reasons unknown, there won't ever be one more to anybody, that explicitly infers issues have been happening under the table for quite a while, and some way or another they at last stopped at Pimp's passing, yet that is only one chance. The other chance is surprisingly more dreadful. Pimp C was found in an eccentric state at the site of death. His companions that went to his lodging let his significant other know there was blood all around the room, and he was in some sort of stooping position or supplicating position, was definitely not a lean excess. He was killed, said somebody. An alternate assertion arrived in a meeting. DJ Paul said they found Pimp in an asking position, candles around the bed and blood. Quick forward, Macintosh mill operator found dead in an asking position too. The two of them got governed glut following a night with a woman escort or goods. Consider the state of Pimp C's body at his burial service stunned the people who were in participation. In spite of being in a class rapper, just a limited handful were permitted to see his remaining parts. Furthermore, the condition of his body was upsetting and looked like something out of a thriller, as revealed by Too Short. He additionally referenced that the coffin was bizarrely weighty, which brings up additional issues about the conditions encompassing his demise. Pimp C hair was this large. Stop it, man, are you significant, man? It was this enormous canine. I mean, you realize he was dim or too hello, his lips would seem as though plastic. These subtleties propose that there might be more going on than what has been openly uncovered. There are bits of gossip flowing that Pimp C was currently uncovering a faction which might have eventually prompted his demise. As one individual put it, he worked up a ton of debate with his Ozone interview, getting down on gay leaders, counterfeit rappers, and, surprisingly, dissed the entire province of Atlanta. He didn't necessarily maintain conflicting viewpoints on these issues anyway. His point of view changed after he was set free from jail for attacking a female excessively brief time. Thinking back, the time his body was recuperated, said entryway was locked and I just needed to separate it. Since supposing that the entryway wasn't locked, that implies someone left out, right? Assuming the entryway was locked, he felt great, he enjoyed it, he was in there not too far off. Likewise guarantees that Pimp C's passing was a type of penance. Too Short, pondering the recuperation of Pimp C's body, referenced that the locked entryway brings up new issues. It proposes that his passing might not have been constrained upon him. The entryway was gotten with next to no indications of constrained section. This could imply that Pimp C was a willing member, or he was too hindered to even consider opposing, or the conceivable guilty party got away from through the window. The third chance, upon nearer assessment, suggests that the probable executioner had fastidiously arranged and executed the homicide. This degree of accuracy could emerge out of a wild contender who is narrow-minded of your prosperity or position in the business. Pimp C and Jay-Z's violent relationship was recently examined by Jeff Sledge, Atlantic Records VP of an About Art. Pimp C's point of view on Jay-Z after a conflict on a music video. 12 bars, I ain't gave him 16. The scandalous confidential video of Pimp C and Jay-Z's significant other is a point that can't be overlooked. Its delivery wouldn't just destroy Jay-Z's vocation, yet in addition put his significant other's standing in danger. Jay-Z has endeavored to allow that to happen in view of the thought process of rivalry. The gamble to his vocation and prior profession contrasts. Jay-Z is the essential suspect.